pairing today?
That is a big question, isn't it?
It is.
So we have two brand new trucks, actually, 2025 models. Here in this beautiful forest green, we have the second generation Rivian R1T tri-motor, which is a pretty beastly and really cool machine. We also have a new 2025 Chevy Silverado LT. So it's a new trim level for the Silverado EV. It's got a lot of cool features, and it's in this beautiful, I think, Riptide blue.
I love that blue, and I love the forest green. I'd be hard-pressed to pick one. Now, you guys, take a guess which one costs more, and we'll let you know at the end of this video, after we, of course, answer your questions. In these live videos, we're trying to kind of give you a hands-on look at the two different trucks. And then we, of course, answer your questions, and at the end, we'll tell you which one is more expensive. And it's surprising because I wouldn't have guessed. So which one do you want to start with, Andre?
Well, I think we should, let's do the Rivian first.
Okay, let's do the Rivian. And
yeah, because it looks similar to, or almost identical to what it looked like before, but there's a lot going on under the skin.
Yeah, this has always been my issue with Rivian, and that is if you buy the new, is this the 2025?
Yeah.
If you buy the new 2025 Rivian R1T and you bring it home, my neighbor has one, as a matter of fact, if I brought this home, he would not know that this is new. There's no external way of guessing that there's something new underneath. And this is, of course, because now vehicles are more like computers, right? Or like phones, where the form factor, at least with these electric vehicles, is like your iPhone or your Android, but the guts of the thing, you know, the software that operates it is different. And this is exactly what Rivian has done. They have kept the form factor the same, but they have changed the software and they have changed the internals to make it more efficient, to make it more to make it quicker, and
increase the range too.
Yeah, to make it, you know, tow better, drive farther, accelerate faster.
But Roman, you said there is almost no way to distinguish it. There's a couple of small ways.
Yeah, tell me, I'm interested.
So, come over here. So, this light bar has a little indent. It says Dynamic Adventure Lighting. But now, this indent goes all the way across, and there's segments. So this light has many features now. So first of all, it's a charge indicator, right? So when you plug it in, it will kind of show you the state of charge until you lock the truck. You could also make this so it kind of blinks. And also it does like interesting things like Christmas mode. It does jingles and stuff like that.
So let me get this straight. They changed this part of the truck. This part.
The lights.
This is what they
It's
changed.
multicolor. Okay, there's another change.
Okay.
The previous Rivian, the blinker used to take over this and blink orange. And now the blinker is this.
Oh, they put a blinker into it.
The blinker is down below. So they separated the blinker from the top portion. So when you see it blinking, we can enable it now, you'll be able to know which generation of the truck it is.
You want me to blink? Is it blinking? I got to turn
You
it
might
on.
have to power this up.
I'll power it up and I'll show you the blinker. All right, here we go. I'm getting in. I am powering it up.
Ah, beautiful lights. Yes, we see it. So the blinker is now on the bottom. And then we can see the other one as well.
I'll do the hazards. What do those look like?
Yeah, that's cool. They're kind of down below as well.
Ah, nice. All right, let me show you one thing that they should have changed that they didn't change, and that is, let me pop the frunk. Do you know how to pop the frunk on this? I have actually not driven this guy. I drove the other one. So how do you pop the frunk, Andre?
Yeah, click the little car symbol on the top left.
Okay. I
Click it again.
Yes.
And right there, and yes.
That one? Okay. So the one rub against Rivian has always been, Andre, that it's got a big frunk,
Yes.
but it's hard to get at because the liftover is very difficult.
Yeah, the liftover, this part doesn't move, right?
Yeah, and
so,
I can show you the difference
yes.
when we compare it to the Chevy Silverado, because this has a more traditional.
And actually, the volume of the two frunks, the front trunks, is very, very similar. I think they're both near a total volume of about 10 cubic feet. Although, I think the Rivian is a little bit smaller than that, maybe by 1 cubic foot. But yeah, this part comes up. So the liftover height. Oh my gosh.
Let me show you the problem, right? Okay.
Are you sure you want to do this?
That I could do.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Please don't try that.
This, I mean, I'd have to like
No. It's expensive. It's very, very expensive.
like a discus thrower, right? And this is obviously an exaggeration, but the
Yes.
problem is real.
It is real. So, I mean, it just depends, I guess, on your use case, right? If you're going to be using this for heavier items, like maybe you're going to the airport a lot and you're throwing a lot of, heavy suitcases in here, versus this, where you might keep like a tent or a
But
couple
I'm saying
chairs.
for the redesign, they could have done the same thing.
They could have
But then
changed
that would have
something.
been very expensive.
Yeah, as soon as you touch metal, right? As soon as you touch metal, stamping presses have to change, or plastic moldings have to change, all that stuff.
Is there a way to? Yeah, look at this. It's got the little. If you lock like a little kid in there,
Yeah.
there's a little button that lets you escape out of the thing.
Here's a little windshield washer filler.
Yeah, the Chevy's got the same thing.
Yeah.
The Chevy has a windshield wiper.
Windshield
Isn't it
washer.
funny how form factors are now following function with the Frunks? How about power? We've got power in the Chevy.
Yep.
Do you have power in the Rivian?
Do I have power in the Rivian? Let me see.
Yeah, where's your power, dude?
Well, I have some cubbies. I have some really cool like charger kits,
Yeah, but
lights.
no power.
No power in here.
Yeah.
So it's quite a little bit different. A little bit different there.
Definitely a windshield wiper. I kind of like the power in the front.
Yeah, I do too. Like if you have a tool there you're charging.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit more useful.
So-
And look, the other thing we have, Andre, besides power, we've got cup holders. Dual cup holders right there. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And then there's this fireman thing, which is scary. There's
Well,
little-
that's not scary.
No?
No, that's where your 12-volt lives.
Why is there a fireman's hat on it?
Well, because in case of an accident, you need to be.
That's where
be
the
careful.
firefighter?
Well, you need to be careful. Don't attach some high voltage wires.
All right, now, the other difference, of course, between these two, there it goes. The other difference between these two is that this is more of a mid-size truck-ish, and that's a full-size truck.
Hey,
Right.
it tightened it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, so a little bit bigger truck, you get more capability in terms of its size, but not necessarily in terms of its towing. How much do these tow, Andre?
Actually, this one tows more.
Does it really?
Doesn't make much sense. So this is, you're right. This is more like a maybe extended wheelbase Tacoma, right? It's about that size. This is rated to tow 11,000. Come over here, Cole. This is a way larger truck. I mean, this is like a Silverado 1500 or an F-150 size. And actually, if you don't configure it with these wheels,
Yeah.
so these are premium wheels. We'll talk a little bit more about this. This has a premium package. If you don't do this package, this will tow a little bit more than the Rivian, 12,005. But because it has this premium stuff on it, this is 10,005. So almost the same, but this one has a small advantage on towing.
Now, the cool thing about this guy is it's got a big-ass battery.
Yes, huge.
Over 200 kilowatt hours.
Yes. So you have to remember. So now they're expanding their Silverado EV lineup, right? They're going to offer several different batteries. So this doesn't have the 212 on the RST. This has slightly smaller, but still a lot of range. This is rated at between 390 and like 408.
So this is the first truck, guys, actually first EV where I didn't have range anxiety. What happened was I filled this up to 100%. I have a home charger, and then I drove it all around Boulder, and then I had to go down to the Springs for Tommy's wife's family's Christmas. So that's about 100 and some mile one-way trip. Come back here, another 100 miles. So after doing all that, I still had over 35%. No range anxiety whatsoever.
Yeah. Actually, the same thing is happening here.
Okay.
The first Rivians, had just over like 300 miles of range.
Yeah.
Now these guys have over about 400 miles of range, depending on the model. This is a little bit less than that. This is like 360.
This is a tri-motor, right?
This is the tri-motor.
Dual motor. Three motors,
Exactly.
two motors. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is actually way quicker, more powerful.
Yeah, so this isn't all that quick compared to this.
Exactly.
I want to say 0 to 60 on this one is 5.5.
Yeah, something like that.
This one's under 3 seconds.
2.9.
Yeah, I know. It's
This
crazy.
is nuts. This one.
And this one has air suspension and off-road tires. This is obviously much more of an on-road truck, so no recovery hooks, much more work truck-ish. But this does have the famous midgate, which basically means that the center part here you can take down, and if you have something that's longer than the bed, you can stick it under the tonneau cover and into the passenger compartment, so like a piece of plywood.
Exactly, and these two trucks, they have completely different ways of charging because the charging port on this truck is in the back,
Yep.
and the Rivian, it's way in the front.
Does that have NACS yet, North American
it does
Charging?
not.
So they
Not
both have
yet.
CCS?
Yes, still CCS.
Okay.
This truck is rated at up to 300 kilowatts of charging, and the reason is, once again, it's an LT model, so it's a little bit more affordable than than the RST, and
You want to help me open
the
this?
capability changes a little bit. So this has the soft tonneau,
Yeah.
and they also have a hard tonneau option.
But as you can tell, this is a lot of room.
Huge amount of space.
Huge amounts of space. And then over here, look at all the power. You've got,
Yeah.
this is, I don't know what that is. That's like the
That's a
camera.
240.
240.
Just like a generator.
And then 1, 2, look at that, 3, 4.
Yeah.
How much? 7.2 kilo? How much can you?
Yeah, including in the front,
Yeah.
it's like 10.6 total capability, which is really nuts. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really a lot of power.
Yeah, and then also the tailgate is also clever because, of course, this is the Pro. What's it called?
You're good.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so if you had a
There's a
piece
little
of
stopper.
if you had a piece of plywood, you could put it in, and if it was longer than the tailgate, it would
Yeah,
rest up
it will
against
stop.
that.
It will stop here.
Or
Yeah.
you can open up the midgate and slide it into the passenger compartment. And we won't do that on camera because it's kind of a pain, but we've done that in previous videos.
Yeah, and we'll be doing more with this truck. Obviously, we'll have other videos with it, and you could open this all the way normally, right?
Yeah.
So this way, and of course this could be used as a step, so you can continue to go down. It's a little bit sticky. There, it becomes a step.
And these holes can actually be speakers.
They can, yeah.
If you really wanted a
Yeah.
tailgate.
It says the step is 375 pounds, so even I can step on it.
Should the two of us try?
No, I think we're over 370.
All right, let's show them the business end of the Rivian and see how that compares.
By the way, payload on this guy, dude, could be up to 1,500 pounds on the Silverado. So this is also a little bit trick, Roman. So this has a fancy hinge, and they have this kind of connector. You see the fancy hinge right here. And the fancy connector kind of covers the gap, and it actually comes out to about 7 feet to the bulkhead.
This is like a Cybertruck.
This came out first, though.
Yeah, the first generation of these things didn't work all that well.
I think they tuned it, fine-tuned it, and made this better.
And unlike the Cybertruck, you can actually see out the back of the window.
Yeah.
It doesn't cover it up. Now over here, look at this. You got a built-in air compressor.
Yeah, which is pretty nifty for your adventures.
Yeah, pretty nifty. And then under here, how does this open? Here, thank you. Like I said, you've been driving this thing. I haven't.
Come on,
That's
click it again. Come on, Rivian.
There it goes. Oh, look at that, a full-size spare.
Full-size spare,
That's
which
pretty
is really
impressive.
important. But dude, you know, like let's say you took it camping.
Yeah.
So you have like, you know, coolers and chairs and tents, and you gotta take this out. That would be a pain.
Yeah, and I think the Silverado has a tire in its usual place, hiding underneath its bed.
Actually, yeah, we should check on that really quick.
Yeah,
but
let's look.
Roman, hold on a second, Cole. Let's look at the power. Let's look at the power outlet here while we're here. This doesn't have a 240, does it?
Only got two traditional
So
outlets.
as far as export power, actually this GM and Chevrolet is actually a little bit better as far as more high-powered options.
Should we show the midgate? I mean, not the midgate.
The tunnel.
Yeah, the tunnel.
Yes, the tunnel is still here. It's pretty much the same as before, even though this is a second
Ooh,
gen.
there's power there, Andre. There's another one.
Yeah, but they're mostly just all 120-volt systems. You have little cubbies.
You can sit on this.
This is 250 pounds.
Well, I can do that.
Yeah,
Let's try that.
you could stand on it too. See, now you can enjoy the beautiful landscape.
You want to finish the rest of this video, and I'll just kind of sit here like a toad on a stool.
Sure, beautiful landscape.
But this would be good for, like, you know, if you need to get into the
On the roof?
Yeah, on the roof.
Tie something down.
Yeah. And there are tie downs over here. as
Yeah,
you can
so
see.
these tie downs you see here,
Yep.
they repeat over there. So you can kind of have several options of attaching things and attaching other
Hey,
gear.
here's a question that you may not know the answer to. With this down, can you drive like that? That'd be very interesting.
Because you could
do some damage.
You could damage something.
Or take
I
off.
think it beeps.
Okay.
So once you put it in gear, I think it'll tell you that this is not latched.
You know what the most disappointing thing was about this? They initially promised like a little camping kitchen that pulled out. They actually designed it. I think it was just too hard to engineer or too expensive, and they never went there. So I kind of do miss that. Let's go around here. I'll show you another cool feature. I believe we still have the flashlight in the door, Andre. They have not changed that.
Yeah, they should have that.
Yeah. So looky there, and it charges automatically, so you don't have to worry about keeping batteries. Yeah, and then you can look inside there. Oh, look what's in there. And we'll get in there in a second. We'll show you how much room is in there. But that's a very thoughtful feature, huh? A little flashlight.
And you could kind of see, show them like the floor mats and a little bit of the interior, Roman,
There we go.
if you could.
Yeah, look at the
Because
floor mats.
they changed different, different themes. I really love the plaid floor mats in this.
Here, why don't you sit down and show them the infotainment, get behind the steering wheel, and I'll sit in the back and see how I fit. How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Cole was going to walk around.
All right, I'll get in the back seat. You get in the driver's seat. I gotta say, Andre, the interiors in the Rivian are some of the best in the business.
Yeah.
But, Cole, if you can pan back here, I love this giant sunroof, but look, my head is hitting a little bit.
How's your knee room?
My knee room is good. I mean,
Okay.
it's not bad back here, Andre. Like I said, it's kind of a tweener truck. It's not quite as tight as a mid-size truck, but you'll see soon that it doesn't have the same amount of room as the Chevy. How's the infotainment? They keep working on that.
Yes, so visually it's about the same as before, right? The lines, some of the wood treatments may be a little bit different, but the screens are the same size as before. But if you were to open this dash and remove the interior, you would see that underneath there's really a new architecture, new wiring system. They call it zonal electrical architecture.
So less computers.
Well, more computing power, but it's more centralized, right? Because they used to have 17 or 25 different modules, computing modules. Now there's a lot fewer of them. They removed 1.6 miles of cable, like a wire.
Copper cable.
Yeah,
less expensive. I mean, the rub with these guys was always that they were losing money in every one they built, which is a good thing if you're buying one, but not a good thing if you want the company to stay in business.
So, and of course, this has been more and more refined, right? So if you go through some of these options, it's of course over-the-air updatable, and this one has everything pretty much.
I always love all that information. Your elevation, the motors, how much power they're putting out. You've got your tire pressure. It's just so useful, and it's really cool as a kind of a techie guy to see all that. A lot of manufacturers hide that, and Rivian puts it in plain sight. That's a really nice feature. But I would say the screen is a little black and white. I feel like there's a lot of colors to choose from, and yet here we are looking at a very kind of boring color on the screen.
Yeah, we have cameras as well. Yeah, and they also have, let me see if I can get there.
Oh, I like the green. I like the fact that the truck
Yeah, it matches.
Yeah, that's always a very thoughtful touch.
Yeah, the screen is also matching. I actually told with this truck, we haven't published that video yet.
Yes, tell me about it.
It actually still does really, really good. It estimates the weight of your trailer. And let me go there again. So right here, so this is just a little preview of what I was doing. I was towing about 6,500 pounds.
Wait, it estimates the weight of your trailer. How cool
while
is
you're
that?
moving.
How cool
While
is
you're
that?
moving.
Yeah.
Yes. And it adjusts with wind, if different wind conditions, it kind of adjusts itself. I think it's really
So
great
your efficiency
system.
was 1.2?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty tragic.
That's towing a big bread loaf, loaf of bread.
Is that the Buhunka?
Yeah, I was towing my van.
Okay.
So
we'll see that.
it's a different video,
Yeah.
but at least we did that. But Roman, you could see one, two rear motors, one in the front. Total power is 850 horsepower. So
this is insane, Andre.
This is more power than the old quad motor, 4-motor system. And the new quad motor is still going to be around with over 1,000 horsepower. So we also did the drag race. Drag race is coming this weekend to TFL Trucks YouTube channel.
Yep. Don't
And
tell
the-
them. They can
this-
watch it. It's a really good drag race.
It's still breathtaking how quick this truck is.
And this isn't
It's-
even the fastest one.
No, it's not the fastest one. It has launch control mode. So they changed a lot underneath the skin. The battery enclosures are different. The motors are redesigned. They're a little bit more efficient, a little bit better cooling, right? So they touched a lot of components underneath. It's wrapped in the same package.
You know what I love about the Rivian? I mean, the quality of materials, the tasteful blend of materials, Andre. I mean, everything I look at, everything I touch feels very expensive. Even this giant sunroof is nice to let in the
By
air.
the way, I just made it opaque. Did
So
you
can-
notice?
At the push like the Volkswagen ID, you can change it.
Yeah, you could change
Yeah,
it.
That's so cool. It just feels expensive, and that's because it is expensive. We'll tell you at the end of this video just
Yeah.
how expensive.
It feels expensive, and you're gonna pay for it as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump in the Silverado and do the same thing, huh?
Yeah,
Show-
let's check it out.
Show them the difference in size. This is a tall truck too, Andre. I'm tall,
Well, it's also got air suspension.
but I think it's all the way down, isn't it? It looks like it's down.
It's almost all the way down, not quite.
Yeah.
So now the LT, Silverado
All right. Why
EV.
don't you get in the back?
LT.
I'll get over here. All right. So of course, this is kind of the mid-level truck, right? There's a WT.
Work truck, yep.
Work truck, yeah. There is the LT, and then there's the RST, which is the top of the line truck. Now, for me, I like this colorful screen a lot.
There's an object approaching.
Yes, I see that, yeah. But you see the color, it just feels expensive, and it's a pleasure to look at. The one thing I don't like about, thank you, Cole, for turning down the fan. The one thing I don't like about Chevy is that, what's missing, Andre?
Well, wireless CarPlay,
Yep.
Apple CarPlay is missing,
Apple
but you know what? The
CarPlay.
Rivian doesn't have that either.
They both don't have it, huh?
Right.
And I'll tell you, this is also disappointing. Now, GM knows how to build a good truck. Heads-up display, camera, rearview mirror. Cole, why don't you show them that? Same thing, giant glass.
But you cannot make it opaque.
You cannot
they
make it
do
op-
sell an accessory cover, but it's one way
So,
right now.
so I like to use Waze because it tells me any obstacles in the road, any police officers, obviously, right? So I'm like, hey, I'll just boot up Waze and use that. So I go to boot it up, and that's what happened.
Welcome to Waze.
Yeah, it just, yeah, welcome to Waze.
Okay.
So GM does still need to do some work on their technology.
But the screens are huge and they're great. So GM and Rivian,
Okay, let's see it now. There it goes. It finally booted up. It just took a long time.
yeah. So both Rivian and GM, they're kind of going about it their own way, right?
Yes.
So Rivian just introduced YouTube app, right? So they're adding other technologies as far as the user interface into their own ecosystem instead of just having phone projection, right? Like Apple CarPlay, taking over the screen. So it's just a different approach. What I'm okay with it as long as like listening to podcasts, like if I had Spotify, it would be okay. But I'm using Apple podcast, and the system doesn't remember where I am in my podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. It's just Apple CarPlay or Android Auto is so much more convenient. Now, in terms of creature comforts, I mean, look, we have heated and cooled seats, which is nice. 3 levels of heating. We have a heated steering wheel, which is also very nice. I love this new trend now where this morning I got into the truck and the steering wheel and the heated seats automatically came on, which was sweet.
Because it knew how cold it was.
It was
right?
knew how cold it was. And it also has Super Cruise,
yeah,
yeah, and
it
it
does.
works really well. So I Super Cruised it from Denver all the way down to the Springs. The newest version of Super Cruise does automatic lane changes, which is nice. So if you're in the fast lane, it'll move over if there's room, or vice versa, and passes cars. It actually works super well, and I found it to be quite enjoyable to just sit here. And you know what? My wife didn't freak out because I didn't tell her I was using it. I just turned it on. It's easy to turn on, right? You turn on cruise control, you set the speed, and then you hit this little steering wheel button. This flashes green when it's ready to go. Take your hands off the wheel, and as long as you keep your eyes on the road, it's monitoring your eyes right there. It just goes down the road at whatever speed you have set, and then it passes cars by itself. It merges back into traffic by itself. Really a nice system. It did fail when I got into the Springs. There was construction, and it got confused, and it threw its hands up and said, "Hey, you take over," which I did. But when the road is clear and the weather is good. It does a super job.
Wow. I'm surprised you being very positive about the system. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good system, and actually Rivian has something similar. They have kind of highway assist system as well, but the Super Cruise is still superior.
Yeah.
Really well dialed in. I think Rivian will still have several updates. So of course, over-the-air updates, now every vehicle is over-the-air updatable. And Rivian now has new sensors, new cameras, so they're going to keep improving their system. But I think the state of the art as far as hands-free driving on the highway is still right here.
Look, we
with
got
the
about
truck.
87% battery, 362 miles, Andre, and that's not a fake number. That's a real number, which is nice. So this is the first truck, dare I say, EV, Andre, that felt like I didn't have range anxiety. You know, I just drove it to the Springs, I drove it back, I drove it around town, and drove it home, and finally plugged it in. It does take a long time to charge up. I mean, I brought it home at like maybe 30%, and it wasn't done charging until 9 in the morning the
It's
next
a
day.
huge battery.
It's a big battery,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Roman, why? I mean, why do we have kind of like, cheapish plastics like in front of the passenger here? I mean, it doesn't feel that premium to me.
No, not near as premium as the next door Rivian. How much space you have? You look like
I have insane amount of space. This is a humongous vehicle. I'm almost 6'3". I do have headroom. I have insane amount of leg room, my knee room, and like you said, behind me, at least this plastic piece, this is a system for the mid-gate. So in order to fold it down.
all right, so we promised people we'd tell them how much it cost, Andre.
Yeah,
so
let's do it.
I have the Monroney right here. Now this is the Monroney for the LT extended range. It starts at 73,000, but when you add in all the bells and whistles, things like the giant sunroof and soft roll tonneau cover, yada yada yada, dealer destination, you get to a much higher number, which is right there, 84,985. That's a breathtakingly big number.
Yeah.
It does have $13,000 worth of options.
Yeah, so some of those options include those wheels, Super Cruise, this panoramic sunroof. So actually, Roman, if you were to subtract a lot of that stuff,
Yeah.
and I think like you could subtract Super Cruise, for example, right?
Yeah.
You could subtract this sunroof. I think I would. So you could actually bring that price down to about 75-ish, which is still a lot of money, but it's not like the RST that preceded it, right?
No.
It's still a very nice truck that you can drive.
I'll tell you the things. I'll give you like 3 things I love about this truck and 3 things I would improve, okay? Number 3, what I love, real buttons for the HVAC control and real knobs and a volume knob. Love that. The Rivian doesn't have that. Number 2, I love the fact that it has this huge amount of range where you don't feel like you have any range anxiety. And number 3, I just love the aesthetics of it from the outside. I think it's a really good looking truck. Now what I would improve, Andre, I still think the seats aren't great. They're better than they were, but man, Chevy needs to get their seats. I just don't have enough lumbar support, and I don't have enough lower leg support for myself. That's number 3. Number 2, obviously the technology here is still, not grand in terms of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I wish it had that. And the number 1 thing I think I would improve is I'd like to have it be a little bit more off-roady, right? For this amount of money, I want this truck to go off-road. It doesn't have recovery hooks. It doesn't have all the goodies that the Rivian has.
We have a super chat, Roman.
Oh, thank you, whoever did that.
Yeah, it's 300C me. So 300C me says you should title this video not what EV truck to buy, but what EV truck to lease, because massive depreciation potentially. Well, which is not wrong.
No, true that, man.
So a lot of electric vehicles depreciate quite heavily. I don't know why it thinks. Is there a ghost behind this?
No, the door's open, so it
It thinks somebody's approaching us from
well,
the back.
Well, let's talk about let's hop out and then answer
Can
the
I tell
question.
you what I would improve?
Yeah,
Let's go out.
And tell me, I'd love to hear it, Andre, and I'll get the sticker for the Rivian. We can talk about that as well.
Well, the Rivian doesn't have a sticker.
There's no sticker.
Yeah, but I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll
All right,
tell you.
what would you improve? Tell me.
I'll tell you. It's also venting a little bit.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh, I like that too. I like the light. This is the new thing now. All the cars have, right? The lit up Chevy badge, and then the light that goes all the way across.
So, this is a big, comfortable truck.
Yeah.
But I think GM still needs to improve payload and towing, right? We talked about they almost have the identical towing, this Rivian R1T and this Silverado EV LT, but this is a full-size truck. I would expect, plus, it's gigantic. So I need I would improve payload. This truck, the way you see it here, is about 1,300 pounds of payload. I think there's still room for improvement there. And it should tow, this one tows 10,005. I think they should rate it higher. Those are my things.
All right, and how much does this Rivian cost, Andre? So we've established this is $84,000. Now let's hear how much you pay for this thing.
So this is a tri-motor.
Yep.
So the tri-motor is not this base price either. They have a dual motor system. They have a dual motor truck. You have to hit off, Roman.
I'm trying to turn it off. How do you turn it off?
Oh, you locked it.
Is there an off button on
Yeah.
this? Okay, I'll hit the
It's
off.
on the main screen. Little off in this on the left.
I don't see it. I'll let you do it.
See, the problem, guys, is new trucks don't have actually power buttons.
Oh.
They don't have power buttons, so you have to
It's still on.
keep missing.
Technology at its best. Thank you, Andre. Finally, you good work, my man. Be
Thanks.
quiet, truck.
You know what I went to college for computer science.
Yeah.
So I think my degree in computer science is really helping me out. You know.
Because these are computers. They are. So how much is Rivian?
This one starts at 99,000
And how much is the one?
because it's a tri-motor. If
Yeah.
this was a dual motor, it'll of course start near 72, 73. Oh, we have another super chat. 1 second, Mr. Wheels. This one is 106-ish.
Wow.
So the tri-motor, we said 850 horsepower, comes with its interior. This has the tonneau cover. This has the all-terrain package, which is additional, those all-terrain tires and wheels. So this is 106
So $22,000 more
than that.
Than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now that puts it into perspective, right?
It does, yeah.
This is like a
I think-
high-power machine.
Look, trucks have gotten very expensive, right? Once upon a time, trucks were like the affordable way to get four-wheel drive, to get all-weather capability, to get utility, to get your family hauling them and their stuff. Now, of course, they've gotten expensive, but there's something that happens once you go over 100,000.
It's a different mindset.
It's a different mindset.
Yeah.
Even 84, this is breathtaking. At 72, I think it's still pretty expensive. I would love to see this like in the $60,000 range. That's where I would feel like this is,
That's where the work truck version is.
yeah.
Yeah.
But 106 is breathtaking.
Mr. Wheels, thank you for your super chat. He says, which one is better looking for you guys, your opinion? Silverado looking good to his opinion. So first of all, I love the blue color.
Yeah, the blue is.
You know how they started with the white work truck
Yeah.
and then the black RST?
Yeah.
And it felt really monochromatic. I think they should have started here. They should have started with some blue or red or some other color that pops. But I'm still not a huge fan. This Silverado EV to me, it looks like a locomotive, like a bullet train.
Riptide blue metallic.
Exactly. I like the Rivian more, Roman.
You do?
I like the kind of squared off front. It looks a little bit macho, more macho to me. I like the Rivian look actually a little bit better.
I like the Silverado better. And it could be the color, but even if you get past the color, I like the fact that it is very sleek and very bull-nosed. And I love the little like flying buttress on the back. I think that also adds a lot to it. So to me, this is a much more handsome truck. And if it were my money, I'd go with the Silverado. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love off-roaders, but dude, for $22,000, I could put on off-road tires, maybe add recovery hooks.
Yeah, it's missing recovery hooks on the Silverado.
Does that has also, we took it off-road, right? It also has like the electronic lockers.
It does.
I'm doing air quotes.
They improved how they work.
Yeah.
You can watch it at alltfl.com. But it's still maybe not as ideal as mechanical lockers would be.
But I know we have these two trucks, but here's what's in my head right now, and I'll share that with you. I'm like, this truck is 106, but a Raptor Ranger, which is very similar to this in a lot of ways, is 57. So it's a big pill to swallow to basically pay twice as much for this than a Raptor Ranger, and yet the Raptor Ranger will give you the exact same amount of ability.
Does the Raptor Ranger accelerate in 2.9 seconds?
It does
0
not.
to 60?
It does not. It
Does
not
Raptor Ranger have latest Dolby Atmos surround sound?
But for the everyday things.
Does it have wood on the inside, Roman?
Does it have an exhaust sound? Yes. I think the Raptor Ranger has a really nice interior.
It does. Taker 610, another super chat. Thank you so much. Taker is asking the LT extended range, that Silverado, which rating does it have? Because it has a premium pack, it's 390 miles of range. If it wasn't the premium pack, different wheels and tires, different equipment, it would be 408. So different ranges for different trim levels now. This is between like 405, but the all-terrain package takes us down to about 360.
Ooh, that's
approximately.
That's
a big hit, right?
That's a big hit, yeah.
So people are saying that pricing is still really high. People are wondering if Chinese electric vehicles will enter our market.
No.
We still don't know, and the answer is probably not for a very long time, right?
I don't think that the current or the new administration will allow it, nor do the auto manufacturers actually want to compete head to head. But there's a problem there, and that is we have a North American free trade agreement, and the Chinese, to get by that, could build a factory in Mexico, and then voila, you got trucks here.
But it's going to take time.
Yeah.
A lot of time. Somebody says they're waiting for a plug-in hybrid Jeep Gladiator. We don't have a lot of news about this yet. It's supposed to be coming next year or 2025, which is
a 4xe version of the Gladiator.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming later in 2025, which is only 2 days away.
Well, the other thing is Jeep has 2 electric vehicles. They've got the Wagoneer S, which I'm going to actually drive in a few weeks, and then they've got the new Recon, which is also going to be all electric. So Jeep's got a lot of new products coming out next year.
Yeah, we have quite a few of you joining. Really appreciate it. So Brendan says LT trim is rated at 12,500 of towing and 1,800 of payload. Come here, Cole, just for a second. That's true if it was a base truck for LT. This one, just wanted to show really quick. This has 1,367 pounds of payload. And if you go up here, about 10,005. So it just depends on your equipment. That's always the case with trucks, right, Roman?
Yeah, the more stuff it has, in other words, 4-wheel drive has less payload than 2-wheel drive.
Panoramic sunroofs.
Yes.
Super cruise systems, different wheels and tires. They all affect your payload and they all affect your towing.
Yeah, basically the more stuff you put, more features you put on the truck, the less payload you'll end up with. But the Rivian has an impressive payload. You have to, once you look at this, show them the payload. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool because that is something you are getting with the Rivian that you aren't getting with the Silverado.
Let's see. Because we talked about these trucks, they need to do everything, right? So the payload on this guy, I don't have my glasses, Roman, 1,540. So a little bit more than the Silverado. And it doesn't have a towing spec, but it's 11,000 basically. That's most of them are rated at the same.
You know, I know it says it's rated at 11,000, Andre, and I know it's a heavy truck because of the battery.
Yeah.
But in my brain, and this is maybe just my brain, we've been towing for 15 years now, this truck looks too small to tow 11,000 pounds. It just feels like, and I know because of the battery, the weight is there, the stability is there, but it just feels like I would be a little worried about towing 11,000 pounds with a truck this size, with the footprint of a truck that's this big. Whereas I feel more comfortable towing 11,000 with that. And I know that has not a lot to do with it, but that's how I feel.
This truck, the Rivian, does weigh 7,000 pounds at the curb, so it is pretty stable. I've towed with it. That video's coming. I would just say I wouldn't take either one of these towing cross-country or long distances, right? Because that's really challenging. The charging with trailers is challenging. You have to wait at chargers. But I would tow around town.
But you figure
no
you could get almost 200 miles of towing before you'd have to charge.
You could.
Which is getting to the point where my bladder won't support much longer than that. So at that point, the problem is it'll go 200 miles, but then you'll spend a long time charging it. What's the charge rate? Do you know how fast these guys charge?
That's 300 for the Chevy.
Yeah,
300
that's
kilowatts.
fast, yeah. That's got 800-volt architecture, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And this one, they haven't updated the architecture yet.
So 400 volts.
So even though they changed a lot of the underneath,
Yeah.
this charges about 220, I think.
Okay.
About that.
But guys, don't be fooled. Just because this says 300 doesn't mean you're going to hit.
It won't do it every day.
Yeah.
It depends.
You have to find Electrify America that's a 350, and then hope there's no bolt parked at it charging up, because this is the kind of thing that happens, right? And you'll still take, even at 300, it'll still take a while to charge.
By the way, I'm reading your comments here on the phone. I'm not texting my wife, so I just wanted to make it clear. Somebody's asking, how's my Tundra? My Tundra is really great. I'm going on a skiing vacation tomorrow.
Nice.
And I'm going to take the Tundra for a long trip for the first time, and we're going to go to Durango, Colorado, which is, 6 hours away. So
yeah, a good road trip.
I'm gonna report to you guys next week, and I'm gonna tell you everything about it. So the Tundra is still doing really, really good.
We should wrap this up pretty soon. I feel like Cole's been holding the camera over.
Cole is very tired.
Yeah. So hey guys, want to wish you a very happy New Year.
Yes.
It's been an interesting year for trucks. It's been an interesting year for TFL, and we really appreciate you guys watching. We really appreciate you hanging with us for all of our videos. And if you're wondering what's going to happen this week on TFL, we've actually got the whole team working. We didn't take time off. So I think the videos that I'm most excited about is you did a pretty cool drag race. Tell them what you drag raced, Andre. That's coming up this weekend. We have to edit that still.
Yeah, so we have the Ram RHO versus Ram TRX versus Ford Raptor R versus this, the Rivian R1T tri-motor. So that was exciting, or a lot of excitement in that video.
And the other video I'm excited about, this is going to be a little bit longer. You actually took our new Silverado HD Duramax and towed with it. Tell me what you did with that.
We went to the max, basically. We loaded almost 18,000 pounds on a gooseneck trailer. Mr. Truck was with me. It was like the good old days, and we did a Denver 100 loop, and there was some good and some bad, actually.
So stay tuned for that video as well. And guys, happy New Year. Be safe out there. And we'll see you next time.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for super chats. Yes.
Ciao.